Hello, for today's art, you are going to need a black marker, crayon, or colored pencil, and ideally crayons or colored pencils, but marker will also do. Today we are going to talk about value. Value is a gradual change of lightness or darkness in a color. Here are some examples. In art, we usually talk about a value scale where you have light to dark in one color. An everyday example would be ombre, if you have your hair done ombre where it gets light to dark. Here's an example of a drawing that was created using value. They go from light to dark with that black pencil. Today we are going to practice value by drawing a dragon eye. We're going to start in the middle of our paper. I usually start with my finger to kind of get an idea of where my shape is going to go. We're going to draw an eye. I'm going to put a dot on either side of where my eye is going to go, so I kind of know where my curve needs to be. My top curve is a little flatter, and my bottom curve is a little bit more like a U. I'm going to add a second piece to that top curve to make kind of the eyelid. There's my bottom U and the second curve underneath that. Now I'm going to add the iris of the eye. This is the part that has the color. So I'm thinking about the iris being a circle and how it would continue on the other side. And then now I'm putting in the pupil. That is the black part of the eye, the part of the eye we see out of. It is a pointy oval. Draw lightly so that if you make a mistake, you can erase. Once I have my eye drawn, now I'm going to fill in the area around my eye with kind of the scales or the bumps that a dragon would have. This is where that texture is coming in. So I'm trying to create that visual texture like we've talked about in 6th grade. I'm just adding these lumps and bumps that then will get colored in later. Remember, a dragon is make-believe, so it is okay if your lumps and bumps are different than mine, or if they are not all the same size. Think about the scales on an animal. They are not going to be perfect. Now I'm going to start a second row. These are just going to be kind of rounded rectangles that I'm just going to wrap around this eye to give it that scaly feel. Now I'm going to take my Sharpie or any kind of marker that you have, or crayon or colored pencil in black, and I'm going to outline and trace all of my pencil lines that I just drew. I'm going to change the pupil just a little bit to give it a little bit more detail, and then going ahead and tracing everything. It is okay if I don't follow my lines exactly, because once I'm done, I will erase all my pencil lines I can still see. Once everything is traced, then I am going to go back through and erase all of my pencil lines so that you can't see those anymore. Now that all my pencil lines are erased, I'm going to come in with my black marker or crayon or colored pencil and color in the spaces between my shapes with black. I am also going to color in the pupil black, and then I went back in and thickened up those eyelid lines also. Now that I have all of the drawing done, I'm going to start doing my coloring. Remember, with value, we are looking at going from light to dark or dark to light with our color. So I have chosen warm colors for the eye. I am starting with my darkest warm color, which is Scarlet. It's a deep red orange. So I'm going to outline that eye with that scarlet color. Next, I'm going to move on to my red orange. I'm going to blend that in. Notice with the scarlet, I colored hard right around the edge and then a little bit lighter. I'm now overlapping that lighter area with my red orange. And then I'm going to go ahead and color out a little bit farther, again, coloring a lot lighter with my red orange. Then I'm going to overlap that now with my orange. That's my next lightest color. I'm adding that lighter color as I go out, overlapping what I colored before. And then the last color I'm using is the Dandelion. It's not a bright yellow, so it gives me a little bit better transition to that yellow-orange. I'm blending that over the top of the regular orange I just used. I'm blending that out into my colors. Now I'm going to take my darker color again one more time and kind of blend that in to add a little bit more contrast on that outside edge. If you're not using crayons, colored pencils blend well also. If you're using markers, you might not get that blending to happen as easily, but you can still get a similar effect. You just might see the edges where those colors change. Now I'm going to move to the colors that I'm using for my scales. I'm using blue violet, indigo, blue, and blue green. So blue violet is my darkest color. So I'm going to go around the outside edge of the scale and then color lightly just on the inside of that. That outside edge is colored nice and hard, and then that inside piece is a little bit lighter, so I can overlap that with my indigo. I'm overlapping with my indigo, and then I'm going to shade a little bit lighter or color a little bit lighter. Take my blue, overlap that light coloring. Color inside a little bit more lighter, and then take that blue-green and color over everything with that. So I get that dark to light from the outside to the inside. I'm going to repeat the same thing again, starting with my darkest color, making a ring nice and hard, and then coloring lightly right inside of that so I can overlap. After I use my blue, I'm going to come back in with that blue-green and color that over everything. I'm then going to repeat this process for all of my scales until my picture is finished. This will most likely take you more than 40 minutes to finish, so you will continue to work on this during your next art class time. When you do get finished, upload your picture to Artsonia so that it can be sent to your art teacher.